Up next for you this morning here on Daybreak, all 4 officers involved in the death of George Floyd are now facing charges.
And a new study shows teens are cutting back on vaping. We have details on that study in just a few minutes.
Also, an organization is resuming its mentor program. We'll talk about how it'll work while also being safe with social distancing. That's all this morning for you on Daybreak.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Today is Thursday, June 4th. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
I'm Joe Morano. Perhaps our biggest story happening, though, at the moment right now is the weather going on and coming through the Ozarks right now. We want to get right to meteorologist Elisa Rappa. A busy day for you right now. A lot of watches happening, right?
Yeah, we've got warnings in play for damaging winds, and I know the newsroom is working on video and reports of power lines that are down. Some people actually in the dark this morning, right? We've got some power outages.
That's right. We'll get to that right after your weather, but several thousand people in the Ozarks without power right now.
Yeah, that's because we've got winds that were confirmed at 61 miles per hour plowing right through Springfield. We actually even took a power hit right here on the air. Our severe thunderstorm watch, though, was canceled because the storms have come through already where the watch was in effect, right? So the threat is still there. It's just that watch was a little bit old and outdated as far as where it was in place. Here's where the threat is right now. From Mountain Grove through Ava, Branson, Berryville, and then down towards Harrison. This is where we've got that line of severe storms diving southward. And again, it does have a history of producing 50 to 60 mile per hour winds and taking down trees and power lines. Very heavy rain and lightning also a concern. You can see there we've got a new extension of the warning. It just keeps getting extended south and east because this line is traveling fast. Here's a look at those storms, again looping, diving south and east. We also have flash flooding concerns. 2 inches of rain is falling very quickly. It's 69 degrees in West Plains, 74 in Branson, and 68 degrees in Mountain Home. A stormy start out there this morning. Be careful. Roads are not only flooded, but you could have some trees and limbs and power lines that are blocking the roads this morning. Your delivery forecast, things will be a little bit wet out there this morning, but then this afternoon looks a little bit drier. We do have a marginal risk in play, but it looks like the most action that we see today is happening right now. Plus, we're tracking heat and tropical remnants, so a little bit busy this morning. We'll get to all of it in 10 minutes.
And the power outages is something we're keeping an eye on right there. As we take a look at AMEX map, you see the red counties that are on the southwest part of Missouri. That's Christian County and Greene County. Christian County right there that we're hovering over says that over 1,000 customers right now are without power. And then at last check, Greene County, if you click on that county right there, it'll show you that more than 1,300 customers are without power right now. In fact, it says 1,377 customers don't have that. So it's still something we're still tracking. North Springfield has several hundred people without power at the moment right now. We also want to let you know there was a crew at Pythian and Fairfax. There was a live power line knocked down. City utility crews are monitoring that area. Stoplights are also out throughout downtown if you take a look there. So it's all something we need to take a look at when it comes to and use caution when it comes to whether a stop sign and a stop light that is out should be treated as a 4-way stop. Just a reminder if you have to go out there and drive today.
Filed a complaint that charges police officer King, Lane, and Tao with aiding and abetting murder in the 2nd degree, a felony offense.
All 4 officers directly involved in the arrest leading to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis are now charged. That includes an upgraded charge of 2nd-degree murder for Officer Derek Chauvin. A longtime Springfield resident, Larry Floyd, has been an organizer for the demonstrations taking place in Springfield. He says the charges gave some sense of justice, but there is still work to be done. He says one of their biggest goals locally is keeping things peaceful so that those stereotyping them as, quote, thugs are proven wrong. The new charges for the officers are another step towards its bigger goal.
The movement that we're building here in Springfield, although it started because of George Floyd, it's going to end with equality and inclusion. And for us here locally, it changes it a little bit, but it doesn't change the bigger picture. As far as like legislation towards policing, you know, those are the ones that are sworn to protect and serve the community. So when they break the laws, you know, or beat a person, you know, with police brutality, anything like that, we think they should get some of the harshest penalties.
Floyd also reminded people that those protesting should make their voices heard at the polls as well.
Free COVID-19 testing is happening today and tomorrow at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds in Springfield. Testing will happen from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. both days, and you don't have to have any symptoms to be tested. The only requirement is that you're a Missouri resident. Springfield Greene County Health Director Clay Goddard says testing on this scale provides a good look at the disease.
They're doing 1,000 tests a day. And it's my understanding that there are still plenty of slots open. So we would encourage people to take advantage of this opportunity if they have concerns about their health.
And again, this is not only for Greene County residents. This is available for all Missouri residents.
We have another potential exposure to COVID-19 to tell you about, as the health department says a recently diagnosed patient visited a Sam's Club in Springfield while infectious and symptomatic. Last Friday, between 5 and 6 p.m., the patient was at the Sam's Club on East Sunshine, not wearing a mask. If you develop any symptoms, and you may have been there in that time, the health department says you should seek medical attention.
In medical coverage this morning, students in Greene County have decreased vape use by 20% between 2018 and 2020, and that's according to a survey of 6th through 12th grade Missouri students. The survey is conducted anonymously every 2 years, and it was completed this year before in-person classes were canceled. The Springfield Greene County Health Department, Springfield Public Schools, and Community Partnership of the Ozarks worked together to create the Greene County Tobacco and Vape Prevention Coalition. They say there are two major contributors to this reduction in vape use in the county. All SPS middle and high school students get vape prevention education and the Tobacco 21 regulation that was put in place to prevent access to tobacco for younger people. Kara Irwin is the community wellness coordinator at the health department, and she says though there's been a decrease in vape use, they still need to keep educating, especially with COVID-19 so prevalent right now.
We need to keep the concerns of vaping at the forefront because the two go hand in hand. I think what's really happening is youth are starting to realize how dangerous it is, and so they're not using it anymore. I think it's really exciting to share some encouraging news. I think we all need that right now, and to show that our efforts to educate the community about the dangers of vaping clearly is paying off.
Irwin also says Greene County has a lower rate of vaping in 2020 compared to the state's average. New for you this morning, Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Ozarks is resuming its mentor program. Caller 10's Nija McDonald reached out to the organization and joins us live now in the studio to share more. Nija, I know the nonprofit is telling you the need for Bigs is needed now more than ever.
Yeah, Jen, good morning. The organization says children thrive with structure, which is something unfortunately many have had interrupted due to the outbreak. Now, Ashley French serves as CEO for the nonprofit and says the group encouraged Bigs to continue meeting with their littles during the stay-at-home order via virtual platforms like Zoom and FaceTime calls. However, French says while those connections continued, the nonprofit made the decision to hold off on making new matches until after the order was lifted. Now, that time is now, and French says there are more than 80 children currently on their waiting list.
Phone calls are great, virtual is great, and we can keep that up as long as we have to. But we are to that point we're starting to be able to see each other face to face. And I think with kiddos, I think the biggest impact was that school. So they lost that school, not just the classroom, but those kind adults around them to support them. Kids just need more. And then you add on this layer of, again, I mentioned that unemployment and that stress at home and the fears and these unknowns.
Well, the nonprofit is hosting virtual Bigs orientations the entire month of June. French encourages anyone who thinks they might be interested in becoming a Big to participate in one of those virtual sessions. The group recommends anyone who does become a Big to follow the CDC's social distancing guidelines. And as always, you can visit our website at ozarksfirst.com for a list of days and times.
Our newest severe thunderstorm warning has a tornado possible tag. It includes Texas and Wright counties. There's some weak rotation in here that we need to watch. Damaging winds have been a threat for us all morning, with reports of power lines and trees down, many people in the dark. We'll have the latest coming up right after the break.